right, good morning. We're here on the minor guardianship docket for February 7th. I'm Commissioner Dave Nelson. And the first case we'll take will be Alvaro Wynn. Mr. Agnostu, we need you. You need to go first on that.
Actually, that jury trial got canceled yesterday. We had a pre-trial conference, and Judge Hahn moved the hearing or the trial to September, so I have more time.
Okay. You're first on the docket anyway, so let's go ahead and go forward.
I wanted to tell Your Honor that I got a phone call just a few minutes ago from Mr. South. He is tied up in hearings. He has a juvenile hearing and a criminal matter at the same time, and he didn't think he'd be able to get here. His client is getting ready to be incarcerated for a significant period of time. And what he wanted me to do was tell Your Honor that they agree that the petitioner, the mother of my client, the guardianship should be granted. And then my client's in the process of going through treatment and complying with the court's requirements. And pursuant to the new statutes, this can be brought back in the future, by either of the parents if they believe custody should be returned to them. So at this time, in speaking with Mr. South, we believe that the petition should be granted. And then we were wondering about an order. The order needs to reflect who was present at today's hearing and those type of things. And is that something Your Honor prepares, or do me or Mr. South prepare that on behalf of our clients, or the petitioner who is unrepresented, kind of just a little bit at a loss at who's going to prepare the order? And I believe the guardian ad litem, Mallory Smith, is here, and she can indicate, I think, that the best interest of the child is to be placed with the grandmother.
Okay. Let me just confirm, Mr. South represents who in this case?
He represents the mother, Natasha Bicker.
Okay, and she was objecting, but apparently now she's going to be going to prison. Is that right?
For some period of time. I'm not sure what that is, but.
And Mr. Wynn, who is present here, has indicated his agreement,
right,
with the guardianship already, if I remember right.
Right, and I represent him, and I have confirmed that with him that he thinks it's at this particular time the guardianship should be granted.
Okay. Typically, the parties will prepare the order. Do you and Mr. South want to work together on one, and I could put this over a week for presentation?
Yeah, we can do that, sure.
Okay.
And then did you want to hear from Ms. Smith?
Yeah, I will in a moment here. Let me just see. That would be to the 14th. Today is the 7th. Okay. Ms. Smith, any comment on what has been discussed today?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Anagnostu records things accurately. I did have a conversation specifically with Ms. Bickar last week. I attempted to try to get the ball rolling to see if maybe Mr. South would be able to circulate some orders showing the court agreement. That hasn't happened yet. I know that Mr. Anagnostu and Mr. South are working on that. Mr. Anagnostu is correct. His client is engaging in treatment. He's participating in some educational goals. Ms. Bickar is indicated to me directly that she was going to be taking a plea deal to resolve some of the criminal matters that she has pending. She will be unavailable for approximately 36 months was what she had relayed to me. So she won't be able to provide care for the child for that period. And Mr. Wynn is in agreement. Ms. Wynn, the petitioner, has made every effort to ensure that the parent-child relationship is maintained in a healthy and happy manner. And so that would be my preference that we continue forward.
Okay. Mr. Anagnosti, then I'll leave it to you and Mr. South to put the order together. There probably should be a note in there about under what conditions Mr. Nguyen can visit the child. And that may be as simple as whenever allowed by the guardian. And let's put it on for next week at 10:30 on February 14th. Okay.
Very good. I can do that. I didn't know if you wanted to hear from the petitioner or not as to how things are going, or if we need that. These indicate they're supposed to be evidentiary hearings, and so
Well, where it's agreed and apparently you're going to sign off on it, I'm not sure. If I do an evidentiary hearing, I'm going to put people under oath. I think where it's agreed to, then I'll just sign off on the order.
just have a signature line for the petitioner and everybody in the order.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Ms. Nguyen, any comment on what's been going on today?
No,
Okay.
everything's been fine.
All right. Thank you. Then if you can have an order to me by next week, I anticipate I'll sign it at that time.
Very good, Your Honor. We'll put that together.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Guardianship of Aurora. I see Dorothy Madewell is here.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else appearing on that case? So we're here on a emergency minor guardianship petition. The mother was served on January 5th, and there's been no response. The father was served on January 9th, and I don't see any response in the file. Ms. Madewell, have you had any response from either party, either of the parents?
I've heard from neither one. I know that Dad has gotten it, but I haven't gotten contact from anybody, no.
Okay. All right, I've got your order on emergency minor guardianship. Since it's been more than 21 days since service, and there's been no response, I will grant it. Have you filed for a full guardianship, or do you intend to do that?
Yep, that's next.
Okay. Let me go through this.
And then do I need to serve them again with that, or can I just send that in the mail?
You will, yes, you will on the full guardianship. You'll need to reserve them with that.
Okay.
Like you did before.
Okay.
Number 18, you had written your name in as the person who's appointed guardian ad litem or court visitor, but that's somebody that the court would appoint to review the situation. So I will be whiting out your name that there's another place that indicates you're the appointed the guardian. All right, so I'm going to make a few changes to that order, and then I'll sign it. It will be filed later today.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for being here. And anyone else here on that case?
Rose Nickel.
And
Okay,
David Fisher is too.
okay, so the mother and father are here. Thank you.
No, just the father.
Just the father, okay. Right, I had appointed the petitioner the emergency minor guardian, and then I see that a full guardianship has been filed in that case. And the father was served on January 19th. Father's here. What's your position, sir, on the full guardianship?
Yes, I'm contesting that. I would like custody of Angel. I've talked to my counsel. Well, this is what I've talked to the justice, the legal justice here, and they gave me an attorney's name called Judith Redford this morning, and I've called her number and it is disconnected. Prior to that, I've talked to my Indian counsel, the Indian Child Welfare Act. Her name is Sue Franklin, and the number is 586. You can contact her. She wants me to ask for a postponement so you can get a hold of my Indian counsel. And so I could talk to them so they can represent me, right? And I just got a hold of them this morning, finally.
Okay. Ms. Langford, any comment on where we're at in this case?
Yes, so, Mr. Fisher has had my information to reach out to me. He reached out to me yesterday morning. He just got out of incarceration. He was just locked up again for a violation. My concerns is he has not been in Angel's life as a parental role. They've had contact, but they didn't live together. He wasn't there. I know he stated he's working, he got housing. So he's working on getting things, in order, which I appreciate. I know that Rose and Nancy do as well. Right now, they just want Angel to be somewhere safe until he is able to be back on his feet, has his own housing, and able to have a space for her to live. This information that he just stated today, he didn't mention at all yesterday. I would also like for him to give me those contacts so I am able to reach out. I know that Rose and Nancy want her to have a relationship with him, and I know he stated that he wants to have a relationship with her as well and wants her to live with her, but he's not quite at the phase of that just yet.
All right. Ms. Colwine, any comment?
No, that Vashti pretty much explained it.
Okay, and
Just want to make sure that Angel's safe.
Ms. Hogan-Nickel, any comment?
No, we were unaware about her being affiliated with any Indian stuff, just so you know. So when we filled out the paperwork, we didn't know about
Okay.
that. So it's never been brought up about her being affiliated with it at all.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It never ever was mentioned to me when I spoke with her as well. So.
Okay.
Okay, there's no denying it. We just didn't know that. So.
That will take some involvement by the Bureau of Indian Affairs going forward. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assume that this is at this point contested, at least as it relates to the full guardianship. And what needs to happen then is we need to set that for a trial. And we do that on the universal trial setting calendar. So what will happen, I'll give you a date to appear at that. You'll pick a date. It'll be about, I would say 4 to 8 weeks out that trial will occur. I'm going to put that on the universal trial setting calendar for February 15th. Everybody will need to be a part of that to assign it for a hearing. And I'm going to indicate it will take a 1-day hearing, which will be an evidentiary hearing to determine if full guardianship should go to the petitioners. In the meantime, we are coming up on the expiration of the emergency minor guardianship. And I'm going to extend that another 60 days. Again, that should hopefully be close to the time of the full guardianship hearing to expire on April 8th. And I'm going to set a review before me on April 4th. And that will be to determine the status of the full trial.
Your Honor, are you then appointing me as GAL for this portion of it?
Let me take a look. I think we did do that. So make a note about that. Mr. Fisher, any comment? It looked like you wanted to say something. I want to make sure I hear you.
Yeah, my understanding, Angel hasn't even been residing at Roses. And when I talked to Vasha Langford last night, the only contact we had, I said we had court today, and I told her that I was aware that she hasn't even been residing at Roses. She has been staying with her boyfriend up at in Castle Rock. And Your Honor, I'm here on behalf because, you know, I love my daughter to death. And that's the only reason why I'm here.
I understand that. I understand you haven't had contact for a while.
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay. At the time their mother, okay, prior to their mother passing away, my mother passed away. And then, yes, and the kids were always at my house. And so was the mother. And I helped out their mother financially and supported her any way I could. And then she goes and passes away. And then not only did I lose her, and then I lost Lisa too, which was a shock. And mentally, you know, losing two people so quick, you know, it's been a hard thing. But I'm willing to take responsibility and do what a father has to do to keep my kids in my life.
Sir, that's why we're setting this for an evidentiary hearing, which the date will set, that date will be February 15th, because you'll have a chance to explain all of that to the court, and the court will be able to make a decision as to where Angel stays on a permanent basis. But I think right now, the emergency guardianship that I granted earlier, I think needs to be extended until we get to that hearing. So that's what I'm doing. Okay.
And we have never denied Angel from visiting her father. They can have contact. We've never denied that.
Okay. If that can occur over the next couple months, that would be great. Okay, but Mr. Fisher, you need to understand that Ms. Colwine and Ms. Hogan-Nickel are the guardians, and so they're able to make decisions at this point. Okay.
Okay. February 15th.
February 15th at 1 o'clock to set a trial date.
Okay.
And then I also indicated we need to be back on April 4th at 10:30, so I can review where we're at.
All right.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I just verify with Mr. Fisher that the number you called me on yesterday is a good contact for you for me?
Yes.
Okay.
360-431.
No, I have it. I have it still. I just want to make sure it's the right one.
Yes.
Thank you.
You guys always had my number.
Okay. All right. Stay in touch with Ms. Langford as she'll have some questions for you. Okay.
All right.
I have a quick question. So the father is not able to get into this. Is there a number that he can call to get into the courtroom? He's trying to.
in Lyric Bar.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that I have that number.
okay.
Uh,
He's unable to get in for some reason.
I have the number,
Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. I got it, pen.
360.
Okay, that would be right. All right, Ms. Hogan-Nickel, I'll give this to you. That should get him into the waiting room, and then I'll get him
Okay.
to the hearing.
I don't know if he's gonna come because he's kind of throwing it, but okay.
Okay, try to
I
get
at
him
least I
that
gave him the
information.
information, so thank you.
Yeah, we'll skip that case for the moment and go to the Kaiser case. Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm here, but you can have video or voice. You can't have both for some reason.
Okay, well, I hear you.
I think audio is probably more productive.
Yeah, I can try to sign, but I only know about 10 things.
Okay,
I can go first, Your Honor. I do represent the parents of the children of this matter, Bernadette and Patrick. I did have the opportunity to review Ms. Day's report and have a discussion with my clients. At this point, without making any admissions, they still intend to file a declaration kind of correcting their perspective, contrary to Ms. Day's report, but they would agree to a minor guardianship at this point, as they do believe that it is the children's best interest, at least at this point.
so we're talking about, we're here today, I think, on the emergency minor guardian. So they'd agree to that.
Correct. And then I do believe that we're also on for the minor guardianship to approve the petition.
And they would agree to that also.
Correct.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's just a findings issue. And
Right.
we might be able to resolve that together. And if not, maybe we can come back and do a very quick fact finding so we can just have some findings.
I don't see anybody in the waiting room at this point.
Yeah, super annoying. He's basically saying that he doesn't know how to get in and it doesn't matter anyways what he has to say. So he's
Okay,
basically throwing a fit in my opinion. So it's pissing me off, honestly.
So, Your Honor, I actually was able to speak with him a couple times.
Okay.
He actually helped me find David Fisher so that we could serve him finally. But he agrees that where they're at right now, where Lyric is now, is a good place. He just hopes that they allow him to see him, which they have. He is trying to get us housing, and he stated to me he was trying to do all these things, and right now I did explain to him that the guardianship is, they're not trying to take him from him, they want him to have a relationship with him. And I did explain, down the road, if he did get things together, and all three of them agreed that they would be able to come in and file for termination. Because he asked me about all those things, and so I did have those conversations. I said, it's a process, but that is something there for him. And if they can, if that's something they all agree on. So, and I believe he had a visit last week, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So
He had him on the last weekend, and we have, ever since this started, has told Lyric's dad that if he has stable housing and he has a way to take care of Lyric, that we wouldn't oppose him and would help him try to get Lyric in his house. He's just not in that position yet.
and he said that to me. He's homeless. He has nowhere to live. He's not working. So he stated those same things to me as well. So
Order marked the box that said visitation for both parents is listed in the residential schedule, which is another form, which I don't think you really intended to fill out. I think
we did.
what I should do What's that?
We filled out 2 of them. We filled out one
Oh.
for me and Nancy, and then we filled out one for the parents and us. So we turned in 2 separate forms.
We were told we needed multiple things, so we just filled out everything possible we could fill out, so we had it.
All right, well, I'm looking. I don't see a residential plan.
Hmm.
That was filed here. There's a way that I can write in a visitation schedule. And was it something like whenever it's agreed to by the parties, or was there a
Is
specific
this
schedule?
for between Rose and myself, or between us and Lyric's dad?
Between you and the dad.
Okay, so we had written that they could visit as long as he arranged it ahead of time with the guardians, and it didn't interfere with school or his other like medical or counseling appointments. So
Or-
that,
He's about to play sports too, so.
yeah, whatever as long as he doesn't take him out of something he's already into, we have no problem with him. So he's been visiting on weekends. I think he visited on a day that there was no school, so he visited on the day there was no school. He just doesn't,
It's just random whenever he.
he calls us and says,
Say,
yeah,
hey,
message us and say, can I see the kids? And then we take the kids there and we pick the kids up.
What I wrote was as agreed to by the guardians, which is the 2 of you, so long as it does not interfere with school. Do you want me to list any other things that you want to make sure it doesn't interfere with? It looks like I've got a phone number. He may be on the line
Hello.
here. Mr. Ramick, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for joining us. I know it was a bit of a task to get on. I'm Commissioner Dave Nelson. We're now talking about Lyric's guardianship matter. I understand from the guardian ad litem, Ms. Langford, that you will agree to the guardianship as long as you get to see Lyric on occasion. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I feel as though that I'm being forced into the guardianship. Lisa passed away, and I was in Salem, and my car had broke down, and so I just hadn't been able to get up here to Longview in order to be here for my kids or for Lyric anyway, so it's just taken me a while to get up here, and I thought I had a home that I was setting up in Astoria with a friend to be able to provide for Lyric and have a place for him to be, but that kind of fell through, and then I just got kind of dropped off in Longview. So now I'm kind of starting at square one, trying to get a job and start over again completely. And so, I mean, it's kind of as though I have no other circumstances other than for him to go with them, so that he has a safe place to be. But I mean, I don't want to voluntarily give up my guardianship. I would prefer to keep it if that was some sort of a possibility. But if this is the best circumstances for my child, I obviously care about his safety and well-being as number one priority. So.
Okay, it sounds like when you say you feel like you don't have a choice, it's the circumstances that have created that. It's not anything Ms. Colwine or Ms. Hogan-Nickel have done that has caused that.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let me maybe just tell you a little bit about this particular area of the law, and that might make you feel a little more comfortable. This was created so that it doesn't take away your rights, and that's not necessarily right. It doesn't mean you're not the parent anymore of Lyric. It means that you're in a circumstance, as you've indicated, where you're not able to take care of Lyric at this time. And so the minor guardianship is set up to allow somebody else other than the parent to watch over their child. What the guardians would like in the order, and I just wrote it in, is that you would be able to see Lyric at any time that you can work it out with the guardians, as long as it doesn't affect his schooling. And apparently you've seen him recently. So it doesn't mean you don't get to see him, doesn't mean you don't get to be the father, but it does mean that the decision-making and the day-to-day care for Lyric will be with Ms. Hogan-Nickel and Ms. Colwine. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and you agree to that for right now?
Yes, I mean, they presented it to me as though that as soon as I acquire some stable housing and whatnot, then I would be able to get guardianship of him again, or he can come live with me again. As soon as I can be able to provide for him and have a place to be able to do that and whatnot.
Okay. There is a way for you to petition to terminate the guardianship, or if everybody agrees to it, we can just do a agreed order. But it sounds to me that the best thing at this time is to approve of the guardianship, and I guess we'll leave it at that. I won't schedule any future hearings in the case, because I'm granting this now. Okay.
Okay. Is there, never mind. Thank
No,
you.
go ahead. You can ask your question.
Oh, I guess I was just gonna try to figure out some, like, if there was some way that it could be put into the paperwork as a clause, that I definitely can get him back or whatever, but I suppose that's just a matter of paperwork through the courts and whatnot and standard procedure.
That would be a motion that would have to be brought, and the court would have to hear the evidence on both sides at that point. Okay.
So when he is ready to become Lyric's guardian, have Lyric live with him, then we would just petition the court to end our guardianship of him, and then present AC being the guardian when he's able to do that.
Yeah, well, AC is the father.
Yes.
So he doesn't really need to be appointed the guardian. We would just terminate your guardianship, and then by default, the father then would be involved.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that he understood that was our intention.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
good. Thank you, everyone. I think this is in the best interest of Lyric, and I appreciate everybody cooperating. Okay.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Everyone
Oh,
is.
Nancy?
I have one other question.
Oh, go ahead, Ms. Coleman.
So we ended up, previously were able to pick up your signed order after one at the court. Is that still possible for this signed order? Or do we not need another piece of paper?
No, I think you should be.
Oh, we
able
have to turn in letter.
After one today. I just signed the order. I'll give it to the clerk.
Okay,
She'll process it. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I think that's it for today. So I'll be ending the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.